So yeah, how are you?
Yeah, hi. I'm really good. Yeah, it's been a good week so far. I have a lot of projects that I'm working on right now. A lot of new music in the making. Um, yeah, I mean it's like positive stress because so much is going on, but it's nice. But yeah, I also try to like don't forget about the resting time and the chill time. It's really
Sure.
important actually. So I try to get like a good balance between these two things, but it's working pretty good at the moment.
Well, I want to talk to that about kind of balancing life and work a little bit and what you're working on now. But before we do that, I'd like to go back to the beginning. Now, I read that your grandfather was a clarinet player. So
Yeah, yeah,
how
good stuff. Yeah,
so how did kind of his playing and then I believe your father was into music as well. How did that
yeah,
influence you to become a creator of music?
yeah. I remember it when I was a child. My parents they lived, I think it was like 20 minutes away from our house, and I visited them pretty often. And when I was there, like in the summer times, I played like football outside in the garden with my
Hmm.
grandpa. And I remember he showed me in the when you got like downstairs, they had like the room where you can put like your garbage stuff, like the stuff you don't need anymore, like I don't know what's it called, like all the stuff that you have like laying around, you can just put it in there. And right there, he got this old clarinet, and I loved it when he like put it out and like played on it. And yeah, also my father, he was like a trumpet player
Okay.
in a band, and he was like really really good at it. And he also showed me like to play like instruments, and I wasn't like into the airy instruments like with
The horns,
clarinets and
yeah.
trumpets, like the horn stuff. But I like the piano, so they decided to take me into classes where I can learn playing piano, and that's like how it all started. I mean, I was like a child who also loved playing football and stuff like
Mm.
this. Like I was not like this type of guy who was like, okay, just music, nothing else. I mean, I liked a lot of stuff. I liked skateboarding. I was driving a skateboard for like 15 years and all that stuff.
Okay.
But music was like it was like on another level. It was like so deep into my soul. Like it was like a part of me, like since the beginning I can think of. So that's why I always loved to be like being able to play like instruments, and then later on started with the producing stuff. And I have to say like the producing stuff was the more satisfying part because I
Uh,
was never like fully satisfied to just play one instrument. I always wanted to make like whole songs, and that way I got into it with the production.
I find that interesting because, for instance, with something like skateboarding, it's very much a subculture, and then there's a lot of music involved. So were you into all kinds of music growing up then? Because you play piano, so perhaps some classical, but then hip hop and kind of punk rock with the skating culture.
Yeah.
How did your tastes develop to where they are now?
Yeah, actually, I was never into like the classical stuff or
Okay,
something, even though I started playing like with classical instruments.
sure.
I even played the organ in church
Okay,
for a couple of months. Yeah, it was like
okay,
a side project of the teacher that teach me playing piano. She was also the organ player in the church, in the local church,
Hmm.
and she was. I remember I was playing like the piano lesson with her, and then when we finished, she was like, "Yeah, I kind of think about like starting to teach some organ. Are you interested?" And I was like, "Yeah, go on, let's go." And I remember it was like such a mesmerizing, huge experience because it's like so powerful. This instrument is so majestic and so powerful. And yeah, that's also like a part thing, but I was like never into that music. It was like,
Sure.
yeah, I loved learning it and understanding music and like the whole theory behind it, but it was like not the yeah, that's my type of stuff. That was never the clue. But yeah, it was pretty much mixed all the time. But the
Okay,
main thing that was always going through was I loved synthesizer stuff. Like
okay.
every music that's like with a synthi in it was like, what the fuck is this? I love it. I want to do this. And I think it started with like the Usher, yeah, with the
Sure,
and I
sure.
was like, damn, what is this? What is this? And yeah, that was the type of stuff that was like doing something with me. But of course, in my skateboarding time, I also like like the Offspring type of
Sure.
stuff, like, or at that time Billy Talent was like
Okay.
the shit. Yeah, like Billy Talent, the Offspring stuff, and like Bring Me the Horizon. It's like the
Sure.
more emo stuff. Yeah, that was also like a time where I listened to this. But yeah, such different genres. There was like never like this one thing I liked. It was like different stuff all the time. And I
Once
think it's really
you
important
okay, go
because
ahead.
that the way that I like all of this, it's like what I'm doing right now is also like a huge combination of so many
Right.
genres, and I'm really thankful that I liked so many stuff because it's like who I am now.
Yeah, and like you say, once you discovered producing music and the kind of yeah, going using a computer to kind of construct songs and construct
Yeah,
melodies and everything. How long did it take you to create a piece of music that you thought, well, now I'm actually this is pretty good and I like this. Did it take a long time?
yeah. Actually, it took a I don't know. I think I mean I started producing by like watching YouTube tutorials
Right.
and be like, what what the fuck is this even? Like I didn't know how to press a button. I didn't know nothing about it. I mean I had the music theory behind it, but didn't know how to translate it into something
Mm,
to create. So it took a while. I think like almost 2 years.
okay.
And I think after 2 years, I sent something to my friend. I had like a good friend back then, and I always sent him like I did something on this day, I rendered it and sent it to him. And it was always like his reaction was like, yeah, nice, okay, keep it coming. It's getting better. And it was like one time where like straight released the song on SoundCloud. It was like the SoundCloud times. And I sent him the link, and he was like, okay, now I can't tell if it's a song from you or a song from like a top five radio DJ. And that
Mm,
was like, okay, now it's getting somewhere. And I think, yeah, I produced for 2 years back then. It was like a kind of like slow process because I was so picky in what I do. When I started like learning about how to make synths, I invested just time into learning about this and not like the whole process. I
right.
invested like in segments, it was like a really long journey. Now I'm doing it for like 12 years now, and I'm still not always happy about the songs that I released. Sometimes I do like an idea on the day, and later or on the next day I hate it, but sometimes it's nice, and then it's gonna be released.
Well, that's what was something I was wondering because one of the things, especially since about the past 15 years, electronic music has really, really exploded, and the
Yeah.
threshold to create has been lowered by the technological capabilities we have. So,
Mhm.
for you in this period of 10, 12 years, how did you kind of try to find your own sound, to find your kind of separate yourself from all the people who are trying to do the same thing?
Yeah, that was like never a thing that I like put time into. It was
Okay.
like not like the okay, I can produce now. Now I'm gonna find my own style. It
Mm.
was never like this. It was just in the process. I just tried to make sounds that I liked and just put my own voice on there. That's also like a really important thing because in the main industry you have like your producer, your artist, your songwriter, your blah blah, and I do everything on my own. And I think because I do everything on my own, it's easier to create your own style because everything you do, it's from you. So
Mm.
I think it's more easier. But it was like never like the plan to like do okay, I'm gonna create my own style. It was like just a slow process that went good for me, and it was just like things that I liked, and I put it out into the world, and then people were calling it like AVAION style, and I was like, yeah, that's nice, I liked it. So that's how it went.
Was it nerve-wracking to put your own vocals on any song?
Of course, it was like super nerve-wracking. Yeah, it was. I started it with I had like a girlfriend, like first big love and first big heartbreak, and I was sitting in my room. I had this beat, like this beat kind of stuff, and I was like, yeah, it would be nice to have like some really emotional vocals on there. And I was like, who should I call? And I was never connected to anybody. I was like this producer guy who was just working in his child room. Like I was not like the connecting guy. I was like, hey, you're in my neighborhood. Let's connect and let's do something. I was never like this guy. I was just like doing my own thing. And yeah, now it's different because now it's like easier. But back then I was like just on my own. And I knew nothing about like vocalists. I knew nobody. So I just tried, okay, let's just write some lyrics and maybe I should try to sing it on my own. And I was like putting some time in like vocal processing. Like I was not new to it, but vocal processing for other people. And I was never hearing my own voice on the record. And I was like, yeah, I never thought about like being like a singer. I just wanted to like express my emotions in the song. I didn't even thought about like releasing it. It was just like I was heartbroken. I wanted to tell the world something or myself because I thought about just listening to myself, and I put it in there. And then I sent it, I think, to a good friend of mine, and he was like, "Yo, dude, what the fuck? That's like American high standards. Release it." I was like, "What? Really? I don't because." You would be like a psychopath if you like your own voice on your records. You're a psychopath if you like your own voice on your records. It's like when you do like voice messages and you hear your own voice. If you like it, you're psycho. you always need you always need to hate it or don't like it. And it's if you don't do it, it's like you're weird. You're super weird.
I know exactly what you mean because I've been doing this job for almost 10 years now, and I have to edit myself. And every time I hear my own voice, it's still like that cringy thing, like, ugh.
Yeah, and I swear, if there's someone out there who thinks different and hears his own voice and be like, "Oh, I love it," bro, they're like, that's like, I'm scared of them. I'm scared of them.
The serial killer potential.
Yeah, that's the type of thing. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I was listening to it and it was like, damn, that's I don't know, but yeah, fuck it, it's just for me, so I don't care. But I was sending it to my best friend and I was like, bro, that's really good. You should put this out. And I was like, yeah, you sure, really? I don't know. And yeah, I said just fuck it and was releasing it on my own. But it was the first time on Spotify, so it was like a kind of big deal for me. And then people were like listening to it, and it was like back then it was like a quite high number for me. And I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on? And like all the people from around my city, they all knew it and they all knew me, and that was like such a different vibe. And I was like, okay, maybe that's like something to put more time on, like focusing on put more emotions through my own vocals into the song, because a song gets more intimate if you put vocals on it, and if it's also your own vocals, it's also more intimate. So I tried to do this, and yeah, I was just releasing songs from this start on. That was like the starting point of what I do now.
Yeah, that's very cool what you mentioned, because with what you mentioned, the fact that you do everything yourself, you're right, because it's your voice, it's your vocals, it's your melodies, everything. You can kind of feel how close it is to you. So, and I don't know if this song that you mentioned, was that Pieces or did that come later?
Oh yeah, that's way back later. Okay. The first one, that the song we talked about, it's also out, still out now. It's was released. Yeah, fucked up. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you got your information. That's nice. That's good.
No, yeah, I don't know the exact timelines, but
it was 2018, I think. Okay. It was it's not that long ago, but there's a lot of changes happened in that time since then. But yeah, it was the starting point to realize that people like my own voice on the songs. I mean, it was such a different style of the voice. Even my voice developed over time because you get like better in it if you like do it all the time. I record vocals like almost every day, and you get like really better at it. And that's what people who want to start with it also should know, that you can get better at it. You don't record yourself and you be like, "Oh, I sound like Post Malone. It's nice." Some people do, and that's nice. It's a gift. You should go focus on it. But some people like need to develop their voice, and you can also do that, and everybody can do that. And you need to find your vocal range that you sound good in, because that's like the most important thing. Everybody has like a vocal range where it sounds good. You just need to find it, because when I do like this this deep. I can't do like deep voices, so it sounds like I'm speaking, and it's doesn't sound good. So I find my head voices and like the higher pitch stuff. It sounds good, so that's my vocal range. So I use it, and everybody should like find their vocal range to sound good in. And so that's why I believe that everybody could sing if you put like time in it. So
And
that's the
yeah, talking about or getting to some of the more specific songs then, because Pieces definitely was somewhat of a game changer, I think, for you.
of course, of course.
Yeah, I think it amassed millions and millions of views. And then when you think about that kind of phenomena, if you something you made up in your own room, you just said, and then you put it out, and then so many people can love the song, can find something, even connect emotionally or whatever. What did that realization kind of do with you? And is that in the back of your mind now when you produce?
Yeah, I mean, it was like it's still mind blowing, because yeah, you're right. I made the song in my child room, like with like tiny speakers in a non-acoustic room. Now I have my studio. That's a different
Right.
vibe, but maybe I would never have it if the song didn't came out. You know what I mean? It was like a big like, breakthrough song for me to like establish myself into the scene with my own style. And yeah, it was also a song. I made it, sent it to my best friend, and it was like, yo, what the fuck? Like normally he's like, yeah, nice, I like it, good. But this time he was like speechless. And I was like, okay, that's a different reaction from him. Because he's honest. If it's trash, he tells me it's trash. So that's why I sent it to him, because
It's a
he's
good
honest.
friend.
Yeah, he's a good friend. And this time I sent it to him, and he was like, yo, bro, I have no words for this. Like, what is this? I never heard something like this. I was like, okay, that's a good reaction. I like that. And back then I was already signed to Sony Music, and I sent it to my A&R, and he just sent me like the bomb emojis, and we're like, bro, that's a #1 electronic hit. And I was like, oh, okay, that's okay. I like that.
All right.
And it was nice because he told me like, bro, we get like a platinum, a gold plaque, everything you want. That's like a hit. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I don't know. Maybe yes, I hope so. Fuck yeah, he was right. There it is. Yeah, it's a crazy experience. I have like, yeah.
No, well,
Sorry,
what did that do for
interrupting you.
your? Oh, sorry. What did that do for your confidence moving forward? Because now you've put out a lot of songs since then. But what has that done for your confidence? And especially if you look at a song like Hope, kind of, what was your approach with Hope, and how has the success of Pieces kind of allowed you to get to where you are now?
Yeah, I mean, I always appreciate it, and I was like putting out so many like also different songs, because I have like the song, it's called She Dance, and it's like a super pop chill type of song, like also with like some rap parts from me in it.
Right.
And I wasn't like this kind of guy who was like, okay, Pieces, it's platinum, it's like a dance world hit, so I just do stuff like this because that's how it works. I wanted to still be like create something different, new genres, new type of styles. And yeah, it still developed a lot in that time. Pieces was released 2019.
Right.
And since then my style also like developed a lot. I did like different type of stuff. And yes, like this style works best for me as an artist, because I want to be like, if you think about my artist name, you should think about this type of style. And that's why I keep on doing like this type of styles, because I like it the most. But yeah, also like the confidence was like rising up a lot, because I'm like more proud of my stuff, because I know it's my style. People like it because it's my style, and you don't need to be like, yeah, I do what people like, because you put it out and the people who will like it just pick it, you know.
They will
And
find it.
it's like more confident. I feel like more confident and more chilled about it, because I also have like no pressure. When I release Hope, I don't think about it, oh, I need to do like another platinum world hit. It's like, no, I love the song. I want to put it out to the world, and let's see what comes. It was the same as Pieces. Like I released Pieces and I was like, yeah, I hope that people like it. And if don't, it's all okay too. And it went viral. That's nice. But if it don't, it's also okay. I want to put out good music, and when people like it, it's nice. And if they don't like it, also okay.
With the song Hope, what was the kind of core emotion that you tried to capture?
Yeah, actually, I was like in a really toxic relationship,
Okay.
and yeah, it's funny because in the song I told, um, when I'm alone, I don't feel the same. Like when she's not there, I don't feel the same. And it's cool because I always put my music out, and I want people to be like feel connected to the song, but on their own way. Like it shouldn't be like the lyrics should be like one way, so you just can't feel in this type of emotions. You should always like have your own story behind it and feel connected in a different way. Because some people wrote me like, yeah, because when she's not there, you don't feel the same, so you feel shitty because she's not there. But in my type of story, it was like I feel better because she's not there. You know what I mean? It's like a relief because like the toxic shit is over. You know what I mean? So
Sure.
everybody should have their own story with my songs, and with Hope, it can be both. It can be like hope because you learn somebody new, and like a new love or something, and you feel different because she's not there because you love her so much. Or maybe something bad happened and you feel different without it because you like are done with it and feel better without it. So that's why my songs are always like this, like they're going like different ways. You can feel like different emotions with it, and that's like the main key about it, like the main thing why I do this. That's
Right.
the story behind it.
And when it comes to songs, are you, because we live in an era where it's basically, especially when it comes to kind of the type of music that you make and then in dance music, it's more single based, right? You have Beatport and all that kind of stuff, and the people release singles. But are you an album person as well, where you kind of do you want to tell a narrative in a way, a bigger narrative?
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of output, so because I do my stuff on my own, I can like actually like do songs every day if I want. That's not the main thing about it because I want to put more time into it, so it's more special. But yeah, the label also told me it's like better to be like more on this single type of stuff, and you can like focus more into it and be like, maybe there's like a single that could be like a hit, and if you put it into an album, it didn't get the recognition it could have. So singles are like the better option to focus on the songs, and I like it this way. But maybe I'm not like, I don't say no to an album. Like maybe in the future, it's in the back of my mind, it's planned, but it's like not planned like, okay, next year I'm going to release an album. But I want to do it. I want to do it.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe some life experiences give you the inspiration to create like a larger body of work or something that you want to kind of express with the music. So there's plenty of time left.
Yeah, and you can tell like the whole story in the album, and that's nice. And it's also nice because you can do like a tour then, like an album tour and stuff like that. It has so many like positive features, and yeah, it's planned.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens. Final question then, because you kind of mentioned touring. I read somewhere that obviously you do DJ sets, but you want to incorporate a lot of live elements, like live instrumentation as well. Is that difficult to do in the kind of the music scene that you're in, and how is that going? How are you working towards kind of creating a perfect live show for you?
I mean, I think live shows where you actually like play live stuff, I think it's always more difficult because you have like the pressure of delivering live. It's like different on the DJ. I mean, I don't want to like talk shit about it, but in the end, it's like you press buttons and the song will play. It doesn't matter if you like do this or that, the song will play. Of course, like DJing is like a high thing, and you have like need to have like a lot of skills. I don't want to ruin that, but the live performances is like a different vibe because I want to put like my synthesizers on there too, and like play like the synthy parts on my own, and you have like more pressure because you need to know everything, and then you have the pressure of like playing the wrong note and all that stuff. So of course it's like more difficult. You need to focus on more time on that because you need to like actually like practice a lot and like practice your own songs. And then also I want to perform live with the vocals on top of that. So then like the multitasking with like playing stuff and singing to it. Yeah, it's a lot of practice. And I actually started to do it, like started to plan like this whole live concept. But for shows, only with live stuff, I want to wait a little bit more until I have like more songs out. Maybe like an album would work good because you have like a lot of songs at once. Yeah, but I want to put like more songs out, then practice them all so I can fully like make a whole set with just my songs.
Sure.
And then I can do like this live stuff. But I'm already like planning it, and it's already in the working type of like stuff.
Okay.
So
well,
we're getting there.
One last thing then. What is what can we expect from you in the near future? Are you working on something or are releasing something soon?
Yeah, actually next week is my I did a remix of my own song, Hope.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's not called remix, it's like a deep version, because like Hope, it's like with the big synthes, it's like more atmospheric, and I made like a super like dry, deep version out of it, and I teased it on Instagram and people love it, so I'm really happy to release it. Yeah, my label is super cool with that. We can just like, but okay, nice version, let's release it too, and we're like, yeah, okay, let's do it. So that's coming out next week, and then even this year there is another release coming with Why So Sad. It's the follow-up release from our song that we already have. We had like this Fallen. It's called Fallen, the song Fallen, and we do like the follow-up release also this year in December.
Okay.
And then next year a lot of collabos will come out in the beginning of the next year. In January will be a collabo with the Good Boys from the Medusa songs.
Okay.
And with Sommer, the guy who's also on Selected. He already did some remixes of my songs. He's super talented. And it's a really, really nice song, and I'm super excited for this one. And yeah, a lot of new music actually. Even though in the beginning of the year, I think January, February, there will be like 3 releases or something, 2 or 3 releases. So that's unusual, because I take my time with my releases, because we have to shoot the music videos and like the promo stuff and all that. So I usually take like 2 or 3 months like time left without the next release. But next year will be full of releases actually.
Yeah,
so that's nice.
like it's like you said in the beginning, you're busy, but in a good way.
Yeah, that's the whole point of it, because a lot of finishing, like the little touches of like finishing the songs. So that's the kind of vibe now. Yeah, but it's nice. It's positive. I like it.
Yeah, oh, definitely. It's especially with the couple of years that we've had. It's kind of a luxury again to be able to be busy in a way. But Chris, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me. I wish you all the best, and
thank you.
good luck with everything.
Thank you. Yeah,